mean, Thomas Paine is saying, look, I see London. I see France. You can see my underpants.
I see. Right.
Monocacy Audio, LLC presents The Ascendant Project. The mission of the Ascendant Project is to explore the origin of political, philosophical, and spiritual positions in individuals. A contributor writes a 750-word essay and then gets interviewed. The purpose of the interview is to bring out other views and hopefully life experiences that sent the author down the path to the position expressed. It is not intended to be a forum for debate, but rather a project to better explore and understand the American experience. All opinions and views expressed, written or verbal, are not necessarily the opinion of the podcast nor Monocacy Audio LLC. They are also not intended to malign anyone or any organization. It is our hope that personal growth is the result, as well as a greater appreciation for new, unique, and differing points of view. Join us on this journey to ascend to a higher state of consciousness. Welcome to the Ascendant Project. This is our 4th of July episode, and today we are going to be talking about a very important essay, or actually group of essays, that predated the Declaration of Independence, and it was written, I believe, in either 1775 or 1776, definitely after Lexington and Concord.
I'm looking, it says February 14th, 1776 in
February
Philadelphia.
14th.
That's when the introduction was written, I guess.
So basically, not even 4 months after the Declaration of Independence would be written and signed.
Yeah, okay.
So, of course, we are talking about Common Sense by Thomas Paine.
Right.
It is, I mean, I have it in book form. I believe it was originally released as either a series of 3 pamphlets or as a single pamphlet.
Yes, that's what I remember.
It's a really great document capturing the attitude, maybe wisdom, definitely intelligence, but wisdom maybe.
Certainly some wisdom, yeah, definitely.
Of the
I mean,
Patriots.
it certainly echoes through history and resonates with our modern day. I think Americans in any age, and here I mean like throughout history, could definitely see some common themes.
Yeah, totally, 100%. So, what were your first impressions, my friend?
Well, my first impression was honestly that about how much English has just changed from then to now, because I don't know, in another few generations, like this may as well be like Shakespeare by comparison to what we consider now. Yeah.
It's getting pretty close. And what I found interesting is also how language sort of changed through it.
Right.
So with the first essay, the language is pretty common. But by the end of the essay, especially with Quaker response, which is not included in a lot of editions.
Yeah, it wasn't included in mine.
Yeah, but I think still, like, even in the last essay, there's a lot of ye's that are in there.
Yeah.
Which is a word that is not used anymore.
Nope.
Was not used in the first 2 essays.
Right.
But was present later on, and it's like the degree of the formal you, I think, is what yay is part of. I'm kind of like thou.
You telling me Kanye didn't somehow inspire Kanye yay?
Kanye yay
isn't yay his now
yay yay
yeah.
There's the sound edit
right
there. Yeah.
Well, okay, going back,
it's like the old Carson joke, Sis Boom Bah.
Right.
What sound does a sheep make before it explodes? But anyway.
Oh, Carson. Well, if I can answer your question more seriously, I think that the thing after finishing the whole book, and I did not read the appendix, but after finishing the main body, at least, it was interesting how he tailors his speech and his argument for what I assume was very specific audiences.
Yes.
Like the second or the first essay was certainly written more for the had much stronger religious undertones.
Yeah, 100%.
The third essay certainly talks about industry a lot more, and is I have to assume was written more for business people concerned perhaps about their livelihood, or I don't know, or how they would protect themselves from the crown.
Yeah, and then the third essay dealt with the abilities that America has, even though they weren't fully independent at that time. So I guess we should probably just go through this one essay at a time. I didn't write any notes on the introduction. Did you? I mean, do you have anything on the introduction?
No. I mean, the only thing, and I read this during our audio check, during our mic check. The last paragraph, which I thought was interesting, where he says, "Who the author of this production is wholly unnecessary to the public, as the object for attention is the doctrine itself, not the man." He tries to suggest that he's removed from any bias, yet it may not be unnecessary to say that he is connected with any party and under no sort of influence, public or private, but the influence of reason and principle. I'm kind of a firm believer no man is without some bias. So it is kind of interesting, the sentiment that please pay no attention to me and evaluate the arguments on the merits.
It's weird because you're just saying that, and my mind just jumped to the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah. Okay.
Written, about almost 100 years later at that point.
Yeah.
1863.
Yeah.
1776. So about 80 years later or so. But the line that says, "In a larger sense, we cannot dedicate and we cannot consecrate and we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who have struggled here have consecrated far above our poor power to add or detract." But here's what got me. "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here." He was wrong on that.
Right.
But it can never forget what they did here. So it is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated to the unfinished work. So, I mean, for me, the humility that is involved in the Gettysburg Address in those passages, and the humility that is involved in common sense with the passage you just wrote, judged by the content, not based on the person.
Right.
So don't be like, well, Julius said this, so therefore it's bullcrap.
Right.
No, take a look at his at your body of work.
Right.
Don't
judge it on the merits.
Don't just say, I don't like your skanky ass beard, so therefore.
You think my beard is skanky?
I don't say that. But, I had to come up with something.
Yeah. I which is again a kind of theme that resonates through the ages, even to today. With so much discourse happening online, and personal attacks are very common. Ad hominem, whatever you want to call it. The idea that we would judge each other based on our policy ideas rather than our party affiliation is,
Yeah, we'll get to party affiliation.
Sure.
Because that is also a recurring theme.
Yeah.
Almost as much as his obsession with William the Conqueror.
Yeah. So maybe we should take a step back. So do you know much about, I don't really know much about Thomas Paine, the man. Do you?
Neither do I. Luckily for us, I just brought up a Wikipedia page.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, seriously. So born, personal details. All right. Born 1737. And
Yeah, in office, 1792.
yeah, exactly. He was
in the French National Convention, right? Is that, am I understanding this?
Yeah, so French National Convention, 1792.
Which I suppose is the inspiration for why he brings up William the Conqueror so much.
Maybe. I think that also deals with the time period, because you have to remember, like, if you, once again, thank you to Ken Burns. If you watch Ken Burns' documentary on the American Revolution, up until basically right around this time period where Thomas Paine wrote this, even after Lexington and Concord, most Americans viewed themselves as British subjects.
Right.
So British history is a lot more important to the founding fathers and the men of that time period than it is to us today. So if I'm to understand what he's saying about William the Conqueror correctly, who I know very little about, other than the is his middle name, which is a great middle name. You know, I have a friend who named her kid the middle name of Danger. So that's
serious?
Yeah, I am serious. And yes, the kid does get in trouble.
Are they the Fields? Is his
the Dangerfields?
Right? Is he Dangerfield? Please tell me his first name's Rodney.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's a missed opportunity.
But I mean, obviously, I'm going to bleep it out. But the last name is Danger.
Wow. That's
Danger Flowers. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. That's kind of awesome.
It's like those flowers in Star Trek that, you know, like the original series that, you know, shoot out the
barbs or whatever.
Yeah, the barbs or the poison darts or whatever from the flower.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the danger.
Danger.
Yeah.
Danger flowers.
Yeah. So okay, maybe you got a different impression of why he kept bringing up William the Conqueror, but I think
well, it's because it's the origin of British government was from France.
Right, exactly.
So he's basically calling England hypocrites for not allowing us to succeed, because if they didn't, well, they should be part of France.
Right. And I think also in talking,
Thomas Paine is saying, look, I see London. I see France. You can see my underpants.
I see. Right. I hope that, you know, we can't let that expression die. I know, you know,
it'll be awesome if this is the origin of it, but, you know.
Maybe the new beginning.
Yes.
I think he was also kind of giving the American people who did consider themselves to be subjects of the British Crown, you know, a kind of way out, so to speak. Like this, you know, this isn't really like divined from God, you know, that we should be British subjects.
Yeah.
Right. This is, because if you go back through history,
which kind of keys into your next essay, but
yes, yeah,
that's a little teaser for actually in the way of ordering things, will probably be the previous essay. But yeah, even though we haven't recorded it quite yet,
right?
But
I thought the kind of repeated mentions of William the Conqueror are, you know, more a way to get people to like break themselves from that thought and stop thinking of themselves strictly as British subjects because the monarchy is enshrined in their, you know, like if you really take a critical look at it, then they could very well, they could also consider themselves to be French subjects.
Yeah.
And, and before then, even, I think he actually does go back even further at one point in the first essay, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it was a way of kind of rallying people also around the idea that, hey, we've always thought of ourselves as British subjects, but why? Like, just why?
Right.
It's
weird because it isn't a straight up hypocrisy argument.
Right.
It's a honor our independence through honoring your history.
Yes.
And so it kind of turns the negative hypocrisy argument into a positive. You know?
Yeah. I think it was a way of trying to win over more support for the cause. Which of course, like throughout all three essays, it's almost like the first essay, and I know there's more to it than I'm going to way oversimplify it and probably butcher it a little bit. But in the first essay, it's really almost like trying to break people away from the thought that, we are British subjects, but just not being British subjects doesn't necessarily mean that anybody wants to form their own country. Right. I mean, even at that point, people very much consider themselves to be citizens of their own states.
Yeah.
And not of the larger America.
Yeah. Even up in the Civil War. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, or if it's just mythology, but Lee wanted to defend Virginia and not necessarily the United States as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very much, as it's been recalled to me that people considered themselves citizens of these United States, not the United States.
Yeah, I think that terminology basically sort of changed with the Civil War.
Right.
So, but I mean, it's funny because what people forget, like we tend to talk about history in a non-political way. This happened, therefore this is why our political stance is right.
Right.
What people forget is that history is politics. History was political then, and therefore it's actually political now.
Yeah.
So if you love politics but don't like history, you kind of are like arguing from a position of quicksand.
Okay.
And if you love history but you hate politics, you're not really applying it in your daily life.
Yeah, I mean, history is of our history is of people, not of, and so politics is inherent to the discussion of us as a people,
right?
I think. So yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I agree with you there.
Yeah. So.
Wait, what was let me return the question to you. What's something that stood out to you? Like, what did you get most from reading these essays?
So what struck me overall was I was not expecting so much scripture to be invoked, especially at the beginning.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't either.
I was kind of envisioning a secular thing.
Yeah.
But
is this your first reading?
This is the first time I actually read it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that 99% of America has not read Common Sense.
Yeah.
It's we'll shoot off our fireworks.
Right.
We'll have our barbecues.
Yeah.
But we don't take the time to actually observe how this came about. We'll celebrate the birth of the nation, with the 250th this year.
Yeah.
With parties and stuff, but not really have an appreciation of what it took for us to even come into being.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you kind of got to just take a look at the literature at the time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll kind of go back a little bit to a previous point. I really feel like this is more of a rallying cry.
Yeah.
Than a strict, logical argument per se.
Right.
I haven't finished the Ken Burns documentary on the American Revolution. I know you have, but at least through like the first episode, they discuss how support for a revolution was not so strong everywhere. Like there were people who were, they would watch their neighbors. I can't remember. They had like a name for this group or for these type of people, but people that would like monitor their neighbors and make sure that they weren't buying British goods or
that was depicted in that documentary.
Yeah.
Which, you talk about our sacred honor.
Uh-huh.
Sacred honor involves spying on your neighbors.
Right.
It's, I don't know. It gets so dark.
But, peer pressure.
Maybe I should write the flip side to sacred honor sometime.
Maybe. Peer pressure is very real.
Yes. Especially when you're on a boat and you're not watching where you're going.
What is that a reference to?
What, hitting a pier?
Oh. Oh my God. That one went way over my head.
It didn't for the people on the boat.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Now they've totally derailed your thought. What was that again?
No, I was just saying peer pressure is very real. And I think when I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm sure people will disagree with this. My hot take is that peer pressure can be good when used for good.
Yes. Accountability matters.
Yeah. Getting people to
and we could
put
whitewash
the toilet roll on on correctly.
Yeah.
That's something I think we can all can all agree.
Yeah, and we can whitewash it as accountability. What you have this. You have British tea in your house?
Right. How
we're going to tar and feather you. Yeah,
right.
That's accountability. No.
Right now.
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little bit that's crazy.
That's taking it too far, yeah. But
it's easy for us to say that now.
Sure.
Because is that what it actually took to make the country?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I am very curious.
And hang on before you get to that.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose this thought.
Yeah.
Even if we have to come back to it as opposed to diving into it now.
Okay.
With the moral stands that are occurring in today's politics.
Mm-hmm.
And how much do we compromise? I feel like that, or not compromise, the polarization that's going on now.
Right.
I feel like that question, that we're discussing back then about tarring and feathering people for buying British tea kind of applies today in terms of, how people feel politically towards each other.
Oh, sure. Yeah, there's certainly that sentiment. I hope our better angels will prevail.
They have workshops for this.
Yes, they do.
Braver angels. They can't do better angels.
Yeah, because some other organization already had yeah. But either way, I think nonviolent civil disobedience should absolutely be encouraged.
Yes.
And if not encouraged, at least, not, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, not looked down upon.
And it should also be noted that even amongst patriots, common sense was not fully held up as a standard.
Oh, yeah.
Looking at this Wikipedia page,
yeah,
this is probably the single greatest sentence I've ever seen on Wikipedia.
Oh, really?
Yes. Even some American revolutionaries objected to common sense. Late in life, John Adams called it a crapulous mass.
What? A crapulous? Crapulous mass.
A crapulous mass.
Oh, okay. That sounds...
I need to remember that insult.
Yeah, I know. That's that's an insult worth remembering.
Maybe I should use it for your next essay. What is this crapulous mass?
Yes. Please.
I mean, that's pretty close to craptacular.
Right.
So, I mean, the etymological roots of craptacular goes back to John Adams'
Right.
Crapulous Mass.
Coined the term crapulous mass. I gotta try and look this up.
Crapulous
I'll be
Mass.
disappointed if it doesn't mean what I think it means. Define, this is now going to be in my search history. Define crapulous.
A constellation of brown dwarves in the southern sky.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, right. Yeah, no. Caused by or showing the effects of alcohol. So, and the example it gives, I was a little too crapulous to register what had happened.
So there's a correlation between alcohol and shit somewhere in our language?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's funny.
But anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you mind if I
go ahead?
All right. So I'm really very curious because I am not as well versed in scripture or the Bible as you are.
Right.
And so I'm very curious. Did the first essay speak more to you? Because quite honestly, like, it didn't reach me. I don't really consider myself to be that so well versed that I could pick up what he's
probably
trying to put down.
Because that's my background.
Yes.
So I could read something like that, or since I actually listened to it on audiobook, that was stuff I could kind of grab onto.
Right.
And it also was easy for me because my last essay that I had written actually spoke about divine right.
Right. Yeah.
And how the Declaration of Independence was an attack on it. So really doing this right after Our Sacred Honor is a really nice transition.
Right.
And it was totally unintentional, but I guess I'm kind of on the same page as Paine on a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, so like, was there a particular thing that spoke to you more? Like, were you imagining yourself in the 18th century reading that first essay? Do you think you would have been convinced?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's also really interesting that because I'd learned all that when I was young, like from middle school through college, you know. Yeah, I was like routinely in Bible studies.
Right.
And so that's basically 86 to 96. So a good solid 10 years of my life, which, sorry, I'm just like fathoming the fact that, like sixth grade is 3 years. High school's 4 years.
Uh-huh.
College, if you get it done, can be 4 years. So you're looking at only 11 years.
I know. Well,
for an area of your life that just lasted forever.
Yeah, it felt like it. Yeah.
Now a decade goes by like a year.
I know, right?
And it's only going to get quicker.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, I was always taught that Israel did not need a king. So, and then they went for a king. But it hadn't occurred to me, like I'd always wondered why David became the second king of Israel when he wasn't Saul's son. And Thomas Paine went into that.
Yeah, right.
He's like, how you get a king determines precedent. They did it by lot. So therefore, being a king wasn't hereditary. Which means really, technically speaking, he wasn't really necessarily a king. It was, it was closer to a republic in that aspect. But still.
Right.
And there is a little contradiction I found in this essay.
What's that?
When he's talking about that, he's talking about how he's quoting the scripture. I guess it's in 1 Samuel 8 or whatever.
Right.
About how the king will take a tenth of your best lands, and your vineyards, and all that, and give them to servants, showing how bribery is the foundation of monarchy.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right.
But in the third essay, when he's talking about, I don't know if I wrote this down in my notes or not. No, I didn't. In the third essay or the appendix, one of the two, he's talking about how America can discharge its debt by selling its lands.
And I didn't catch that.
Must be in the appendix then.
Yeah.
Which to me sounds a lot like the former of the king taking these lands to give to his servants.
Right.
So there's kind of a mismatch there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he was trying to
He was trying to make it fiscally.
Yeah. He had clearly heard many of the arguments against absolving themselves of the British crown and also forming a new nation.
Yeah.
And I think he was just trying to, I think I do remember this, but I didn't quite pick up on that.
Yeah. Because he had said that he'd sell the lands to discharge the debt. And my first question was when I had heard that, because I was, once again, audiobook, who are you selling the lands to? Oh, yeah, the rich.
Right.
Because they're going to want to buy up the best lands.
Right.
And so George Washington was a pretty big land prospector.
Right.
And so he would want the best lands. And after all he did, do you think the government would turn him down? Even after he decided not to make himself king?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, there's just a few things going on there.
Yeah, definitely.
So the first essay was on monarchy and hereditary succession. We talked about about 1 Samuel 8.
Right.
How it dives into sacred honor that I had written, if you will, and no scriptural basis for monarchy. That's what that first essay is about. The second essay, thoughts on present state of American affairs. The thing that really jumped out at me was the line, in England, the king is law, versus here, the law will be king.
Right. Yeah. And I'm wondering if that's the first time that phrase was used.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you see that in, man, there's another book that was written much later. I think it was, oh man, I'm going to have to look this up.
Sorry, while you do that, I just have to say that next time I take a bowel movement, I feel like that's
Will it be
crapulous mass. Thank you, John Adams. Crapulous mass.
I don't know. I might have to look it up later. But yeah, I mean, speaking of the law is king, I think this is another kind of common theme.
Yeah. Yeah, he did talk about scripture as well in the second essay. Specifically the render to Caesar what is Caesar's.
Uh-huh.
And
right.
He had mentioned also there that Israel then did not have a king either. And Caesar wasn't a king either.
Right. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he was elected at first, but then became emperor.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be chosen by lot?
Okay, so chosen by lot, it would be kind of like dice or something like that. So
okay,
you can kind of think of it as like rock, paper, scissors.
Just put everyone's name into a hat, basically.
Exactly, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That's what that really means. Name into a hat. So it's somewhat random. Therefore, since it's somewhat random, obviously God has a hand in it.
Right.
So the unknown God always fills.
Yes.
So
right.
I mean,
Sure.
I think we've talked about this before, even scientifically,
Right.
So before, the wobble of the stars was explained by God. Now we know about Earth's orbit. So we'll go back the other way. So therefore the stars will shift the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that. So that no longer became God. That became science because we knew. So,
right.
Yeah. God of the gaps, I think is what that's called. But yeah, that's what lot is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not to be confused with the pillar of salt from Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
That's a different lot.
Different lot altogether. Yes.
Yeah. Actually, no, that was Lot's wife. My bad. But yeah. Bible stories.
Bible
right?
stories.
That we all forget.
Yeah.
But
Well, so yeah, okay. So he makes the statement, law is king, but then he talks about like more structurally his proposal.
Yes. Even here, he's talking 390 representatives in Congress.
Right.
Once again, another topic that you and I have discussed often.
Yes.
You
I
know,
think he even
because today we
says-
have only 435, and the population is like a zillion times bigger.
Right. Right.
You know, that's the exact
Yeah.
number, by the way. A zillion.
A zillion.
Not to be confused with a gazillion.
Right.
Which is like 1,000 times bigger than a zillion.
Let's see what I think he says in the book too, that it was basically like 1 per 30,000 people.
In here?
I think so. Let me double check.
Yeah. So
I must have imagined it.
let each colony be divided into 6, 8, or 10 convenient districts. Each district to send a proper number of delegates to Congress, so that each colony send at least 30.
Right.
And then the whole number of Congress will be at least 390 people. The House of Representatives today is 435.
Yeah.
So the proportion of population to representatives is far, far, far greater, far more disparate than envisioned by Thomas Paine here.
At least according to...
and I think that's leading to our polarization.
I agree. It
isn't just gerrymandering. It's the ratio is out of whack.
That's way out of whack. But yeah, and the population...
The ratio is whack.
is whack.
Crack is whack.
Crack is whack.
The ratio is crack.
And apparently, so in 1776, the total population of the newly independent United States was around 2.5 million.
Yeah.
So we're
4 billion now.
The population of the United States, it's only like 330 million. It's not 4 billion. I mean, it's still a lot.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
I'm like, where?
My decimal point's like off in my head.
Right.
Yeah, I was off by a factor of 10. You know.
Yeah.
I think we are approaching 400 million, though.
Huh?
I think we are approaching about 400 million.
I think we still got a ways, but let's see, 338 million.
Yeah.
In 2025.
338?
That's what this is saying, yeah.
Did it go down?
No. The last I saw was like 330. So now 338. But actually, I do recall in the news saying that immigration has now reversed. There are more people migrating from the United States than...
Yeah, nobody wants to come here.
Right. I know.
I mean, I know Trump likes that, but that, to me, that means we're not respected. If you don't want to go to a place, you're not respected.
Yeah.
You're not someplace you want to be.
Oh, I think
so, it's totally just, I think it's a huge indicator of our standing in the world, just becoming less desirable.
I think there's that. But also, like if you're going to immigrate into a society, I think you have to kind of view that society, or view yourself as being part of that society.
Yeah.
So if they can't view themselves, if they can't find some similarity between themselves and the larger population, then yeah, I mean, like, why would you? It's a big choice to make.
But still, I mean,
that is interesting. From 1920 to 1930, it's like the population declines.
Yeah. Personally, I feel that we're about to start declining again.
Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway, that part's just going to get cut because we're not even describing it.
Well, so, but yeah, I think it's interesting how he's suggesting 390 representatives, 30 for 13 colonies.
Yeah, I know 35,000 is in the Constitution, I think.
What is it?
35,000?
Yeah, I think
Which I don't know why the Permanent Apportionment Act of 1929 is even constitutional, given that line.
so. I think there's certain parts of the Constitution which are only there to describe the initial, they're to basically set initial conditions. But I think it also...
So they're originalist up to a point. Then they're no longer... Then they become magically textualist.
Right. Well, this has always been my big problem with originalism. I think it's a horrible...
That's also my problem with, the Bible is the Word of God, because the people who say that pay no attention to certain verses.
Right.
That are right next to the ones that they pay attention to. Mm-hmm. Especially in the Old Testament.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're certainly far afield from where I think we should be, and certainly where Thomas Paine seems to have been suggesting we should be.
Yeah. Terrorists put the bomb in abomination.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But he doesn't go so far, though, as to suggest that there be a bicameral legislature at all.
He's just talking. And at this point in time, that's all Congress really was a single house. Once we declared our independence, we formed the Articles of Confederation, which would govern us until the present-day Constitution.
Right.
And, so that's where you end up having... I talk about this guy all the freaking time. Frederick Native.
Oh, you talking about the guy that has the statue?
Hanson. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our first executive, not the first president.
Yeah.
But first executive.
President of Congress assembled, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
So, because we didn't have an executive, but it was the closest thing that we had.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
But I think it's interesting the change, kind of bringing it back around a little bit, but it's interesting the change in philosophy from the government being one of the people strictly, at least, seems according to Thomas Paine, to being one of both the people and of the states.
Well, maybe if you guys didn't tar and feather loyalists for buying British tea,
yeah,
maybe you wouldn't need a Senate to moderate the people.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, shit.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing how quickly it goes from revolutionary to moderating forces, for the to protect the status quo.
Right.
Which introducing the Senate really helped with.
Right.
So, but
I think it also, because the original Senate was also, senators were appointed. They weren't elected. Yeah. So I think it was also
kind of like the House of Lords.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was also kind of a way for, the wealthy or the powerful to be able to select.
That's another thing I wanted to write down. I didn't stick in my notes. Let me find this. This might take a little bit. Actually, this is a great passage that I thought was an interesting point. It is from our enemies that we often gain excellent maxims and are frequently surprised into reason by their mistakes. Mr. Cornwall, one of the Lords of the Treasury, treated the petition of the New York Assembly with contempt because that house, he said, consisted of but 26 members.
Right. Yes.
Which trifling number, he argued, could not with decency be put forth as for the whole. We thank him for his involuntary honesty. So I find that, number one, obviously that goes right into what we've talked about all along about the need for a better proportion.
Yeah. Becomes less legitimate as it becomes more diluted.
Second, and perhaps even more important, it pays to listen to those you're debating with.
Yeah.
And sometimes, although, and this goes against what we had talked about at the beginning, where he said, my words are more important than my name. Pay no attention to me.
Right.
Here, he kind of makes sort of the opposite argument. because he said this, then I must say this, and by that, it brought me into wisdom. Maybe
yeah.
I'm misinterpreting that.
I mean, I like.
There's a lot of contradiction with passion in this document,
right?
And maybe that's why it's a crapulous mess. But
right,
because Thomas Paine's kind of doing what you and I do on the show, which we put forth a position and then we work things through. And so I think he's still sort of working through it as he's writing it.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. There's a lot of it that seems more like a monologue than an actual, well thought out, edited, and then published document.
Yeah.
Especially once you get into that third essay, it's kind of like he starts talking about, the British Navy and how great it is, and then kind of meanders around to eventually arrive at the conclusion that we can build our own navy, and our navy doesn't have to be as great as the British Navy. It only needs to be 20% of the size, I think, is actually the number he uses. And just because we have less coastline, less area to defend, we could still be victorious.
Yeah.
Right.
The other line that I thought was really, really prescient came right before the one I just read. And I put it as a question to those who make a study of mankind, whether representation and election is not too great of a power for one and the same body of men to possess. When we are planning for posterity, we ought to remember that virtue is not hereditary. I feel that is so important for today's society, especially when, the Kennedys just won't go away. We ran Hillary after Bill. We ran W after HW. Some people want Jeb to get in there.
Right. Do people still want Jeb to get in there?
I don't know if people still want Jeb to get in there.
I mean, they certainly did
at one point. Yeah. I mean, he ran when Trump ran in 2016.
Right.
For all of us, for everything that's happened to make this nation, why do we keep drifting towards monarchies in our parties? That needs to go away. Just because you have the resources. I mean, if you're born into that position of privilege to where your whole family can run and then your son can run or whatever, and your son's son can run, dude, no, you need to have the character to abdicate that chance to have power, because the temptation is just too easy to rule, to manipulate a whole party worth of politics, to manipulate at least half the country. No. You have to assume that your position in society corrupts your position of worldview.
Okay.
You have to be able to make that, to understand that. So to go back towards the Gettysburg Address, if we're going to be a government of the people, by the people, for the people, we got to be able to walk away from the idea of health and wealth gospel, that because you're blessed with wealth means that you're a godly person and therefore you should be a good president.
Right.
Load of crap.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how much money did Trump inherit?
Crapulous.
It's crapulous.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, greatest inventor ever. Bull crap. Bull freaking crap.
Yeah.
He got his seed money from an apartheid mine, that his parents owned. He inherited that. Now he owns 5 companies. Do you really think he really worked that hard?
No.
Do the freaking math. 5 companies.
There's no way
40-hour workday, that's 200 hours.
Every single one, right, yeah.
And he demands them, they work 60 hours, when he took over Twitter. Yeah. Bull freaking crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. A position of that much wealth and that much power just breeds arrogance. And arrogance, I would say, gets modeled within your families. So therefore, arrogance can be passed down very easily from generation to generation. Yeah. We need to get rid of monarchies in our political parties.
Yeah.
And in corporate culture, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, that's a huge,
I don't know.
huge argument for, having high estate taxes on large, like incredibly large sums of estates.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess we're gonna get to see that policy in action. I think, like, California is.
Yeah.
Did they already pass it, or are they?
I don't know.
It seems like it's going to pass a wealth tax.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So.
Well, we kind of covered the first two essays.
Yes, we did.
And we've kind of just started talking about the third.
Right.
What are the things that stood out to you in the third?
All right. So, the third episode. Thomas Paine basically calls the British Navy a paper tiger.
Right.
Which it proved not to be.
Did it?
Yeah. We didn't really win the seas until Yorktown when the French Navy showed up.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
I mean, yeah, was John Paul Jones during the Revolutionary War?
Oh, I don't remember at all.
Louis, oh, baby, we can go. La, 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 la. Because then you say, like, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I'm sure there's a reference to the dude here in this article. Naval officer. Yep. American Revolutionary War, father of the American Navy. I think he was the one who said, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead.
Well, they didn't have torpedoes then.
That's what I always thought too, but they must have had something. Naval career, Revolutionary War.
Okay. The famous words, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, were said by Admiral David Glasgow.
That makes more sense.
During the Battle of Mobile Bay in 1864.
They had torpedoes in 1864? That's still early for me. I mean, what were they? Like barrels of gunpowder with a exhaust pipe?
In the 19th century, naval mines were called torpedoes.
That
Farragut's order was a daring directive to press forward despite the danger.
See, I figured it was more like a gun jam type thing, with the torpedoes. You can fire a torpedo out of the tube,
right.
So you're just going to ram the ship.
Right.
So if he's just basically saying, fuck the mines.
Yeah, he's saying, because I guess they were sailing into.
I mean, I suppose that's just as dangerous, but still, that kind of loses its mystery.
It definitely changes the context.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I didn't really put that together, but I guess obviously shipbuilding is one of the things I think the United States has always done especially well. Having what they call a blue water navy has always been a source of national pride, but also power projection.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, the suggestion that we might build our own navy, to eventually rival the British Navy, even at that time, was certainly a statement, quite a statement to make.
He was making the argument, Thomas Paine was, that all we need to do is just disrupt their trade to the West Indies, which we could easily do.
Right.
Because he was basically saying that 90% of the British Navy isn't serviceable.
Right.
Which I'm not sure was true or just propaganda or whatever. I mean, he puts tables and charts in there to show it.
Talking about timber and hemp.
Which doesn't really work that well in an audiobook, by the way.
The chart, no. Not so well.
But yeah, I mean, I bought a copy, which, by the way, Julius.
Yes.
Since I actually own a physical copy, when I'm making a political argument, I can always say, have you no common sense? And then produce my copy of Common Sense.
I can always pull it up on my phone and swipe until I find it. It would be a lot less dramatic.
But yeah, so, which I'm sure, is kind of a joke probably that was made back in the day. Have you no common sense?
Right. Right.
Yeah, the other thing is that he argues, once again, he being Mr. Paine, that for a privateer pirate navy, it's once again,
Does he say pirate or private?
the difference between privateers and pirates or whether or not they're backed by a state.
Well, okay, yeah, sure, but I don't remember him saying pirates.
They didn't say the word pirate. Well, actually, he did talk about pirates at one point.
I think
because I think he talked about how pirates could potentially sail up the Delaware and like siege Philadelphia very easily.
Yes, he does talk about that.
So he talks about that in the same chapter where he's talking about why we need a navy. And so this is basically saying, you know, how easily we have the resources to build it ourselves.
Right.
Which we did. But he does talk about contracting private merchant ships, putting cannons on them.
Right, right.
And training them.
Right.
Sounds like piracy to me.
Well, I mean, if you're backed by the state.
I mean, is that what the merchant marine is?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, is that you know, cross between a navy and a merchant?
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look into that more. I feel
the trade alliance from Star Wars.
The trade alliance. Oh my god. Star Wars. Where have you lost your way? Yeah, I mean it is interesting, the discussion somewhat, and I suppose it is meant to kind of reassure or maybe provide some practical grounding to the essays.
Yeah, some method might be fallen on to keep up a naval force in a time of peace. If we should not judge it necessary to support a constant navy, if premiums were to be given to merchants to build and employ their service, ships mounted with 20, 30, 40, or 50 guns, premiums to be in proportion to the loss of bulk to the merchant. 50 or 60 of those ships with guardian ships on constant duty would keep up a sufficient navy. So he's already talking about contracting out the navy.
Right.
Blackwater. On the sea.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that was an interesting proposal by Thomas Paine right there. Also interesting for those 420 fans out there.
All the hemp.
Yes.
So much hemp.
Yes. He mentions it.
Yeah.
In almost every article of defense we abound. Hemp flourishes, even to rankness.
Right.
So that we do not want for cordage. Talking about using hemp to make rope.
Right. I assume when he says to the point of, what is it, to rank?
Yeah. I guess he's referring to it as a weed at this point too.
Well, I guess I kind of took it to mean maybe that they had so much that they were like letting some just basically rot. Possibly,
or the fact that it was kind of like kudzu maybe. It was just taking everything over.
Right, right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
So you did not read the appendix, huh?
I didn't read the appendix.
Okay.
I probably should. It really was only like, I mean, at least on my phone, I think it was only like 20 more pages.
Yeah.
But whatever. So what did you learn from the appendix?
Okay. Oh my gosh. You talk about, we discussed about the problems with sacred honor.
Mm-hmm.
And here, Thomas Paine argues that British soldiers should be taken prisoners, but loyalists should be executed.
Interesting.
Because they're traitors.
Okay.
Traitors to a nation that's not formed yet.
Right.
Wrap that head around here temporarily.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I mean, again, like this kind of, I guess this...
the Declaration of Independence hasn't even been written yet.
Right.
And
was it being formed at this time? I mean, this was like...
it was probably some words being put pen to paper, but it wasn't published.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin and John Adams are having some debates.
Right.
Yeah. And also they bring up the line that virtue is not hereditary nor perpetual. I think they brought that up in the first.
Again, that theme.
Yes, yeah. 100%. And, so if there are things to take away, first, it's that. I think first and foremost, virtue is not hereditary nor perpetual. Second, king is law versus law is king.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That would be my second huge takeaway. And my third takeaway is how much of this he was basing on scripture.
Right.
Which became very interesting in response to a Quaker response to common sense.
Right.
So, which I don't think we're going to get into today. The other thing that was brought up was no political parties.
Yeah. Too bad that didn't last.
Yes. The closing lines of the appendix. Let the names of Whig and Tory be extinct, and let none other be heard among us than those of a good citizen and a open and resolute friend, and a supporter of rights of mankind and of the free and independent states of America. So right there, he was really arguing against political parties, and just being citizens and coming together with like mind, right, as opposed to divided mind and trying to come together with an election with that.
Right.
So,
which is a lofty goal.
It is.
And it's kind of, unfortunately, doesn't really provide any substantive argument for how that would be done.
No.
How we would, I think he does kind of mention in the second essay how this Congress would encourage people to come together to solve problems, but I don't think he quite expected how our own biases would be manipulated by the powerful and wealthy.
Yeah.
But
so, yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, it's arguing for a peaceful anarchy.
Yeah.
But anarchies don't last.
Nope.
And so obviously that's why political parties came about. Where there's power, there are always people who will devise systems to get a means to power.
Uh-huh.
That's just the nature of humanity, unfortunately. We strive for egalitarianism, but we always drift towards a system where the powerful remain powerful.
Yeah, aristocracies, essentially.
Yeah, and the weak have no room to grow.
Right.
And, maybe that's what we should reflect upon 250 years after, the writing of this document.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anyway, this was our Independence Day episode of the Ascendant Project. If you have not read Common Sense by Thomas Paine, I highly encourage you to do so. You will find that many of the issues that are discussed are kind of relevant to today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's interesting how I think my final takeaway is how much things change, they still remain the same.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You took the words right out of my mouth. That was going to be my takeaway, essentially, to say, yeah, the more things, as different as things are, it's surprising how similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing we didn't talk about, how throughout the book, he also talks about how England can still get all the goods from America. It just has to be done through commerce and not
force.
Not force and colonization.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can still have it. Just buy it.
Right. Exactly.
So, but yeah, please give us feedback if you have read Common Sense, or if you want to do a retort to our interpretations.
Yep.
Yes, please leave a comment. Please reach out. I hope you've enjoyed this discussion of Common Sense by Thomas Paine.
Yeah.
And, always come to our website, www.theascendantproject.com. Tell us what you like, what you don't. Give us encouragement. Bash our name.
Right. Keep us going.
Keep us going. Yeah. We do this for you.
Yes.
And we will see you 2 weeks.
Yeah. Make sure you have a safe and happy Independence Day.
Yes. I want 10 fingers on your hands after Independence Day.
Yeah.
So be safe.
Unless you had fewer before Independence Day.
Yes.
Right.
And if you have more fingers after Independence Day, I definitely want to hear from you.
Right.
All right. You guys take care.
Take care.
You have been listening to The Ascendant Project. The Ascendant Project is a production of Monocacy Audio, LLC. Any information expressed in this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for expert information. We are human and ordinary people, and as a result, what is presented as fact may be in error. Monocacy Audio, LLC and this podcast hold no liability from events or damages that result from listening to or reading this podcast or its associated materials. All articles, interviews, and sound files are copyright Monocacy Audio, LLC with all rights reserved, except our awesome theme music is by Alexei Chitalin. His music can be found on pixabay.com as well as Spotify underneath the pseudonym Lexin Music. Thank you for listening and have a great day.